You can have us just chit-chatty while you want to do. It's not a big deal.
All right.
Yeah, well, nobody's
You managed to unmute me right as I took a bite of a chip. Just what the audience wants.
All right, let's mute that. All right. Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to, let's see here, make sure I can hear everybody.
Oh, there you go. You can see there. Oh, nice.
All right, well, welcome everyone who is joining us for the live stream or watching this later. We're celebrating 1 year of My Dad's Radio.
Yay! We did it.
So we just kind of wanted to throw a little party for ourselves. Nobody
else wanted to.
Right. So in typical Dad's Radio fashion, we're just going to go for it.
And we're going to do it last minute.
We're going to do it last minute. With almost no planning. We bought some chips and a cookie cake and snacks.
Yep.
And we're going to
Streamers.
We bought streamers to hang on the back wall.
And hung up the sound.
We finished hanging up that art just for this.
Yeah. We hung up the art. We brought our coffee table down from the living room upstairs and created a pseudo living room here in our studio.
We went all out.
We went all out. We pulled out all the stops. Nikki let me use the furniture for this, so.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki.
They put sun chips in front of me, which was dangerous. That was a bad idea.
We can switch the chips if you want.
Any
Well,
chips are going to be
even more dangerous.
So
Sun
why
chips are
don't you
so good.
start by introducing everyone?
All right. So with us tonight, we have my wife, Nikki.
My
My wife.
It's impossible to say those two words together.
My wife. She presses record for us and holds the camera and keeps the kids from running into the basement while we record for the most part.
Makes dinner for us every single time.
And cooks food for us every single session.
It's probably the most important job.
It's been 51 meals.
Wow.
Oh my
that she has
Holy
prepared
shit.
this year.
That's amazing.
Because the first time we ordered pizza, so that doesn't count.
Oh.
That still counts, though, because you guys still did it.
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
still
we
on
still
you guys.
provided
I did
food.
not cook this meal. I just procured it. So.
This isn't exactly the a session, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Hi, Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, Brendan said hey in the chat.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brandon.
So, Nikki, your job for this whole live stream is to monitor the chat
Got
because
it.
I can't pull that up and do all the things.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Next to her, we have Lee.
Hello.
Lee also helps us with production. She also did background vocals on one video and played
Two videos.
Two videos?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what was the second one?
Oh, wait, no. Was it?
You sang in Saturday in the Park.
Yeah,
That's true.
that counts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She sang into the
The
horn
one where
microphone.
she walked in.
Okay, yep,
And then walked
okay.
back
Yeah,
out.
and then also on What's Up.
Yes.
And What's Up? Yeah.
And What's Up? And then plays trumpet for us on various videos.
She's also the TikTok camera.
Yes.
She's also the TikTok camera. So we have a gimbal.
When it's good.
When it's good.
Because when it's not good, it's me.
Nikki pretending. Next to her, we have Alex House. He plays keyboards, bass guitar, sings on a couple of our songs.
He played drums.
I played drums on
He played
one.
drums on one.
You did?
Yeah, it was.
Plays
I love
bass
rock
on
and roll.
one.
Oh,
I played
bass.
bass. Yeah. I play keyboard and then I do a bunch of other things poorly. Um,
No, I think you do a bunch of other things awesome.
I have to redeem myself on drums one of these days. It's such an easy song, and it's still I can't even listen to it.
That was a weirdly hard one for us, but we can get back to that. Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. But
all of them were a lot of fun.
That was one that was like you kind of need an army of people to play that song, to sing that song, because it's like a chorus of people. We had like 2 people singing. And then we have Dan DeCunha.
Hey, you got it right.
Dan is. I've been practicing.
I believe it.
I
Actually,
practice every morning when I wake up. I let Dobby out to go potty. Dobby's our dog, and I go in front of a mirror and I say, Dan DeCunha. Dan DeCunha.
I do the same thing.
And then I write your name in a mirror because of how many times I misspelled it in the credits on the earlier videos.
It was only the first two, I think.
Because I would post a video, I'd be like, guys, I'm so excited, go check it out. And Dan would be like, you spelled my name wrong again.
In my head, when I texted that to you, it wasn't in that tone.
No, it's, you spelled my name wrong once again.
It's our first band drama. Those early days.
If that counts as drama, I'll take it.
And I'm David Stilson. I'm the producer, director, guitar player, sometimes singer, sometimes bass guitar player, sometimes drummer. Basically, the way that this goes is anytime we don't have somebody to play an instrument, I will pick it up and do that part, fill in where needed.
And you even got to do a pure background vocals recently.
Yeah.
No instrument.
We had Evan Lee Sturzenberger. I practice his name too.
I would not have gotten that right.
We had him on for 5 songs now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And we had so many singers that I was like, and we had so many guitar players for those videos that I was like, there's nothing for me to do. So I'll just grab a mic and sing some backup vocals. So, yeah, that's who we have here on the panel.
So, how did you come up with the idea of My Dad's Radio, like this whole bandy but not bandy type thing?
So I had been kicking around the idea of a covers channel. I am a big fan of a couple YouTubers who I'll shout out, Sing It Live and Lexington Lab Band. And then there's another channel called the Hindley Street Country Club. And what they do is they just record sessions live in studio. And that was one of those moments, probably similar to my early days of YouTube, when I saw a YouTuber doing a thing and they were really successful, and I said I could do that. And so me and Dan worked together pretty closely, and so I said, Dan, I got this idea.
Yeah.
I'm
Those
gonna
early morning breakfasts.
Yeah, I was like, let's do. I want to do a cover band, but we only record in video form. And in my house, and we don't really go out and play shows, but I want it to be like this huge collective of musicians. I don't want it to be like the same 5 people that have to dedicate to recording all the time. I want as many people as we can get and just rotate through musicians and show different talent from around Fort Wayne and just kind of went from there.
Yeah. And as soon as you said that, I was like, absolutely 100% I'm on board. What do you need from me?
Yeah.
I will do whatever it needs to be, because I was trying to get back into music after, a lot of life changes. So it was kind of like the perfect moment. I was like, yeah, absolutely 100%.
Yeah. So we had the idea, and then I remember I started putting out feelers. We have, so most of us at the time worked at Sweetwater. Or do today, and so we have a classified site where we can post looking for members of band or whatever, and I would put some stuff out on Facebook and the different Indiana music groups, just to get people, because you need a band of people to play. So I got a couple names, people interested. It wasn't really gaining any traction, and then we had our department did a talent show. And so different members of the IT team went up on the big stage at Sweetwater in the training center and showed their talent. And so it was kind of like a weird scouting session.
Yeah, you and Brandon and I, who couldn't make it, were just we were doing our own thing for that show. But while we were sitting there in the shows watching everybody else perform, we were like, no, we need that guy. Alex was one of them.
Yeah, you definitely asked me right after.
Yeah,
and probably Joel too, because
I think we probably elbowed each other's elbows because we couldn't get to each other fast enough. Oh my God, him, yes,
yeah.
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 You were like that Joel when he went up there to do his like whole like covers, like asking the audience cover stuff. And again, we're like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Joel can do that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were a bit like Men in Black or something. We were just walking up to people after they perform and they're like, "We need you for a special project."
It's like the
We
Avengers.
got this thing out in the back. You want to be a part of this?
You're getting my van. I'll show you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
This isn't shady, we promise.
Alex, what was your thought when you heard that we were doing a crazy internet band?
I mean, I thought it was a great idea. I mean, Joel and I had been working on a band on our own, a very different concept, in my basement, which looks really different than this one. But I was eager to just to try it. I will admit, I was like, I don't know where I'm going to fit in this classic rock band.
Very well.
Thankfully, we've figured out ways to put me in there.
Yeah.
Anytime they look at me to play a solo, I look at you to fill that in for me.
Well, that speaks to the name, right? My Dad's Radio, because you're like this classic rock band, and we didn't talk about that.
That's true, yeah.
So the whole premise of it was, I said when I told Dan about the idea, it was like people don't really play like our age and younger don't really play like the old classic rock songs that we grew up listening to that our parents had on the radio. And I have distinct memories of, oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I have distinct memories of me and my dad driving to, some event or something, or we would go out and fly our RC planes and stuff. And on the way to do those things, we'd be jamming out. And my dad would crank the radio. Like, he would turn on AC/DC or 38 Special, or one of those older groups, and we would it would be louder than I was comfortable with, because he was really into loud music, and so I have really fond memories.
He sounds like he's after my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like just throughout the years, as I grew up, and you're out in the garage and your dad's working on something and he's got like a country station on, and for me that was like early 90s country. A lot of Shania Twain and older stuff, and it's like we should play some of that stuff. I bet there's a nostalgia factor there for the music we all kind of grew up with that we all still like. So we'll just call it My Dad's Radio, because it wasn't my radio, it wasn't the stuff I was listening to. It'll be stuff that the previous generations liked, and then that sort of evolved over the course of the year.
So even early on, I think I remember countering to you with like, if we're going to call it My Dad's Radio, it's like, where do you cut that off at? Because like, I'm a dad and my kids listen to a bunch of stuff, which was basically my radio, right? So like, and I don't know. I think that actually led to a couple of the cool songs that we got to do, like that were when we recorded them, like Say It Ain't So, like my daughter's one of her favorite song because it was on her dad's radio. Like, yeah. So it's really cool that it's really, it feels like it lends itself to being specifically classic rock, but it really doesn't have to be. We've done country, we've done folk, we've done classic rock. I mean, yeah, it's all basically still guitar driven stuff, but it's not all just, Led Zeppelin and Creedence Clearwater and stuff. We haven't even done
We've spanned, I think it's over 50 years of
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
and it's not even all. I was gonna say Americana, but it's not all American music.
No. But yeah, with Elizabeth joining us, yeah, those songs were even older than what we typically dip into.
Yeah. And sometimes Mom takes over Dad's radio.
Yeah, those country songs are definitely my mom's.
The Shania Twain one.
Yeah, or Four Non-Blondes.
Oh.
I would have never done that song, but we had Erin Petty join us, and she's like, I want to sing Four Non-Blondes. I'm like, you think that'll be a hit? I don't know if people... I know it's a meme. It's a very memed song because there's that.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so catchy. Like, it gets in your ear. Like,
Yeah. Jason Woodford. Hello, sir. He says, Yo, Stilson. Howdy from Alaska. Heard lights on the radio yesterday. Reminded me of how much you guys killed that one.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Keep jamming. You guys have a good thing going.
Yeah, lights is probably. it's tough because we've done so many that I really love, but that one's one of the.
I'm so sad I didn't get to do that one.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites of the ones we've done in the last like couple months.
It's so good.
And I mean, it helped that we had Evan because he's probably our best male singer. We've got a lot of strong singers, but yeah, he really killed it. And I thought the version we did was good. I thought Brian did great on lead guitar, and I was happy with the piano.
For once.
Yeah. It's hit or miss.
Hey, Kyle. Welcome to the stream. Brandon says the variety has been fun playing between Journey and Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we do kind of get a little crazy.
I mean, Chicago,
variety.
too. Like, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy was definitely fun for me because that's my radio.
Yeah.
And I was definitely happy to be able to sing backup on that song too with Evan singing. It was I
sounded great on that.
really early on I was like, I would love it if we would do some Fall Out Boy, and I was like, well, we're never gonna do it. But we didn't have Joel on that day though, did we? He would have liked that one.
Yeah. We can do more pop rock.
I feel like
Pop
pop punk
Dibs.
that's a young parent radio,
Yeah.
but it's definitely there's
It's definitely on my kids' radio.
yeah.
Like, yeah, and Dibs and I, though, we definitely are, like, pushing for some more of that, like, 90s pop punk and, like, early 2000s, if, you know, we can still get in there, but, like...
Yeah, we started a Spotify playlist immediately with like, okay, we need ideas for songs. And I was like, Leonard Skinner, old bands, 38 Special, Led Zeppelin, and Dan was like Weezer.
A lot of grunge. Yeah, a lot of grunge, a lot of 90s, a lot of 90s pop,
Green Day.
too, though.
Green Day. I was like, okay.
There's 11 hours and 30 minutes of music on that playlist now.
50-something songs.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how many actual songs there are. I haven't added anything. I suggest songs only through band.
You went and took some of them out, didn't you? Ones we've done.
I have.
Yeah, because I went to go look for some, and I was like, oh yeah, they're gone. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we've done them, I try to cull the list.
Which is funny because there's still 150 plus songs
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And we've done
Sabotage
50
by the Beastie
songs.
Boys.
Oh yeah.
That's I really want us to do Sabotage by the
If it's
Beastie
90s,
Boys.
I'm gonna push for it.
Because then finally it would be my dad's radio.
Wait, how old is your dad?
It's embarrassing. I gotta think about it. I mean, he's early 50s.
Do you want to walk through kind of what a recording day looks like?
Sure.
What do you guys do on a recording day?
So, well, we have to talk about the lead up. So, the scheduling.
Yeah, all of it.
So, we use an app called Band. I'll post a date and say, whoever can make it, songs are to be determined.
General theme is we try to pick a general theme ahead of
Yeah.
time.
If it's like rock or if it's.
That doesn't always work out, but we try.
Yeah. And then whoever we get to sign up, I'll sort of pick the songs based on the strengths of the people we have, and who can sing.
Unless you have like a guest person.
Yeah, we've had sessions where it's like, hey, we have Elizabeth Lee or Dana Powell joining us as a special guest, featured artist, which you want to do more of. So if you're an artist that wants to
Yes, please.
jam with us, please reach out because we will
So fun.
invite you over to jam with us and play songs. But yeah, it's either, we either have the songs ahead of time and I'll say who can make it. Generally, people will RSVP for which instrument they want to play. And then ahead of time, we'll kind of work out exactly which version of the song we're doing. So sometimes there's like live versions or acoustic versions and stuff. It can be confusing. So we try to like come around like, okay, what arrangement are we doing? What key is it in? And then we get together on the day. Everybody kind of loads in, lugs their gear down to the basement. We set up and wire in the instruments.
And that evolution has, I mean, probably its own subject, but we should talk about the studio setup.
The studio,
over
yeah.
time, yeah.
Oh man.
Put a pin in that one.
Yeah. We'll do some basic sound checks. We run through the first song. We try to do the hardest song of the day first.
Or occasionally the song that requires the most instrumentation because then we can tear down.
Yeah, the most complicated, most people, hardest musically, hardest to sing.
How many microphones?
How many microphones we need. So, and then we'll do takes of the song. We'll roll the cameras and
it's surprisingly few takes. I'll say it's probably 4 to 5 takes before we start feeling comfortable and saying, okay, at least nowadays, maybe not quite the beginning, but it's surprisingly fast. You guys are like, okay, let's get ready. The camera's rolling. I'm like, hold on a minute. Wait, really?
Well,
we're ready?
I think you guys have gotten better at like being very focused at running through the song during practice time instead of noodling with it more. Because I think at first it was more of like hangout, and now it's all like, we know what we're doing. Let's do it so we can eat.
There may be an element of that though, but there are definitely times where we are noodling around trying to figure out how.
But it's usually during the
I'm
setup.
always noodling.
I know you are.
I guess that's a testament though, is what I'm saying though, is that we're noodling, but we're only noodling for a few takes.
Yeah.
Surprisingly few takes.
Yeah.
Before we're ready to go.
Start rolling cameras.
So maybe it was 8 or 9 takes way early in the beginning of what we were doing, but these days it's so.
It's usually right around 5.
Yeah, it's
and it's usually 5
but that's
because
when
there's
5 full takes. Yeah.
2 or 3. You're like, that one's good. I think we can do just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so you have a good take, and then you pull out an even better take.
Yeah. So after those 4 or 5 practice runs, we'll do a take, which I almost always kind of count on that first take being freebie. I almost never
just go all the way through it.
Like, I try because it would be awesome if we ever nail one. So I don't like screw it up on purpose, but I'm like, if I mess up, I kind of like, phew, got it over with. It's done. Like, okay, but yeah, it's only 4 or 5 takes usually at the average, right? And then the one thing I also wanted to call out, and then I'll shut up again, is what I like recently though is we've done a few extra takes, but we've been using previous takes. We've been happier with the previous ones.
Yeah.
And that's new for us too, where usually we were, oh God, we finally got a really good take. Let's call that one. It was the last take almost always. And these days it's like, we've done 5, but you know what? 3 was great. We're going to go with that one.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Which is really fun later, as an aside, when I have to figure out what freaking footage and what take we decided, because we don't log that in the clips or the audio.
We stopped
It's after
doing the
fact.
numbers.
Yeah, we stopped saying what take we were on.
We probably should go back to that.
We
to
should
self.
probably get
I was like, I could probably
Yeah.
tag them on the camera too, but
and like click it in.
But that's a lot of
a
cameras
slate would
to
be good. Yeah, it would be a lot of cameras to slate.
If anyone wants to give us a birthday
though. You
present,
just kind of
Yeah.
if anyone wants to give us a 1-year anniversary present, that would be a wonderful 1-year anniversary.
If someone wants to Amazon deliver a
we're not going to give you our
director's
address
filmmaker
at the
student
moment,
slate.
but maybe they could ship it to Sweetwater under your name or something.
Right.
If
Just
we don't get
send
a
it.
discount on one anyway.
You need like a little like network of screens, small screens, and then you just click a button and it pushes the next number, and then as soon as they start recording, they all turn off.
I'm working on buying microphones right now. That don't suck.
This is what happens when you cross musicians with technology nerds.
We'll build a little Arduino network. It's no problem.
It's really, really fun. It's really
Program,
fun.
look, hear me out. We'll program an Arduino. To
I don't know
automate.
what that is.
No, I think the longest one we ever did when I was here was 9 or maybe 10.
That was Don't Fear the Reaper.
I wasn't there in No Fear the Reaper. I think it was Jailbreak. On the one.
She was saying Jailbreak was hard.
Jailbreak was a rough
I don't remember
one.
it being that hard.
It's because we actually had it pretty much down, and there's that one part with the run.
Okay, it was.
So
that part
and it's
that we were
right at the
having a hard
end,
time.
so it was really frustrating because there's plenty of times where maybe we've done like, oh, I can call it 7 or 8 takes, but like we'll cut them short because someone will like. I don't count those. Like I think that generally like our averages come down to like 3 full takes. But in the early days, there were a lot more.
I feel it. I remember the older ones more as being tougher because I was still holding the camera then. Now I get to now my camera's on the slide.
Yeah.
So I just push a button and sit.
I almost completely forgot about those earlier
forgot you
videos
used
that you were on
the monopod.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's because you don't. It doesn't. It moves pretty subtly most of the time. So sometimes
Yeah.
just, I'll watch the vision like, oh yeah, I forgot we were on a tripod. We did the slider, but then if you watch long enough, it does move.
I do kind of like that angle though that we had with
Yeah.
that. Like I do miss that. Like this is nice, but I I did like that kind of almost live feel to
it just was heavy and it was hard, especially if I had to like deal with a kid issue or whatever. Like you here, I can push the button, get off screen, and then you can.
Our new setups look so much better and more professional all the way around. But like, there's a little bit of nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I liked how that looked a little bit.
I like how our lighting has improved significantly. The very first video, it's just like all of the basement down can lights just on present, and the walls were white. Nikki painted she painted the walls
in between those first two,
after the first couple, just because of Dad's radio.
Yeah, and now we don't use that room.
And now we don't use it, but it looks better. So
It does. It still goes with our aesthetic.
yes, it matches the couch and everything.
That's a huge props to you and your whole engineering, just not just the audio, but you're doing all the studio lighting and the studio work around here and the microphone setup and drum miking and everything. Like it's improved and evolved so much over the last year. Like it's kind of crazy. Like you just upgraded again. Like
yeah, it's always changing.
yeah.
One day it'll end though. I promise Nikki.
But you can hear
I
it.
told them about that today.
You did? I asked
As
her. I'm not judging you. I just need to know, like, is there an end point, or is it we continuously buying things over? Like, I'm not mad. I just need to know.
My only argument for is that the quality has both visually and audibly improved over time. It's both technology and skill. It's both hand in hand, but.
Oh, and I was like, is there? I wanted to know, is there an end point?
Yeah, sure.
Like, you know.
Yeah, when we stop uploading videos.
Apollo X8P. That's the end.
I am curious about the Apollo because I actually really like the mixer that we use, and I know that it's glitchy, and I know that it can't run effects live. But I am curious because the Apollo is a much more traditional interface, and so I'm going to be curious what the monitoring situation is like for it. Are you going to run ADAT? I mean, we'll see. We have not done a session with that yet.
So
I think
I've already
we need
thought
an
this
orchestra.
Through. I've already thought this through.
Okay.
I'm keeping the mixer for monitoring,
Okay.
and I'm running a snake splitter
Oh.
and just running it through to the interface for recording and letting the mixer stay where it is as our monitoring solution. And I'm going to pull it out of the studio rack and make it a mobile in-ear monitoring solution.
that'll be a good idea.
With its own like pass-through snake inputs. So if we play more live shows, we can bring our in-ear setup with us.
Not
I
too-
thought about
our
buying
mixer.
So that's the thing that I kind of want to get back to is that part of why it takes such little time these days is how elegant the setup is nowadays. Like, and even when we're fumbling around, struggling to get a couple of things here and there working, it's still 30 minutes, and we're basically all set up depending on how many people and how many things. 45 minutes on the outside before we're all plugged in, ears in,
Ready to go.
ready to start playing and hearing each other. Our mixes are all set to our own mixes, more or less. Like,
Because we have to pull out the iBoxes. We have to run cabling. We have to run our in-ear cables, which are separate or wireless. We have to log into the mixer on the phones or tablets, pick which mix we're going to be, and then set the mix. And also set up like our physical space, and we have to set up cameras because we also use some of my cameras. So and we really we've gotten it down.
Yeah. Yeah, we know which angles work now. We know, we know if Brian is going to be soloing, he's going to turn all the way around. So we need a camera that's like over to the side a little bit.
We could have run a camera from the front. We should have. I could have triggered
What
Did
we
I
need to
not
do is-
call it?
No, you
though?
called it out.
I called it.
He remembered it for lights. He thought about it because he went to go do it, and then he stayed, and then Hold the Line's a harder solo. I bet he was just lost in the solo.
I legitimately think we need to get like one of those clips that you put on the end of his guitar, so we can just have a angle of him on his
that's
fingers
not
on
bad idea.
fretboard.
Like GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
I was
So-
supposed to do that for the live at lunch, but Jared wasn't able to make it that day. But he was going to go bring that whole rig, and I was going to set up for that. And it was going to be such a
That would have
weird,
been awesome.
narcissistic angle. But
So after you guys set all up, get going, you already talked about it takes a few takes.
Eat food.
We break, we eat.
yeah, we record the first song, and we listen to it to make sure that we're okay with, it's not unsalvageable, right?
Although, has there been even one time that we've
Yes.
listened to it and then gone back and recorded
Yes,
it again?
there's
Because
been a
I
few
can't remember.
times.
Yeah, there
Maybe,
was a couple
maybe it was
times.
the time you weren't there.
It must have been.
It was in the earlier days when we were a little more picky.
Oh, you're right. I remember.
I recall doing
No,
it more
because-
recently.
You are less picky these days.
No. I recall.
I can fix a lot of sins, you guys.
I recall doing that within the last couple of months. I remember we listened to it, and I think maybe even James was like, "No, I don't think that I liked that one. We need to go back and do it again."
Yeah.
So we definitely have done it before.
We haven't done it at a lunch break. I know that
No,
much.
once we go to lunch, like that
No,
one's
then it's over. Yeah.
the song
Yeah,
is
like
set.
you have not dismissed me to prepare the table.
No. we have started to mess around with the second song and then gotten really happy with it, and I think we've recorded a second song before lunch before, maybe once.
I vaguely remember that when I would make when I had things that required more input from
Right.
me.
But usually we don't want to do that because then the food gets cold, and we don't want that.
Yeah, so we've tweaked that
Yeah.
so that if you're getting hot food, it stays hot.
Yeah.
And then you guys do the same thing that you did for the first song. Now you're doing it for the second song.
Yep.
It's always 2 songs.
Not always, and that kind of a little bit of part of that too is that while you're warming up the food, we usually have 10 to 20 minutes, so we could just sit around and goof around. But sometimes we start practicing the second song, so by the time we finish food and come back down, we're almost ready. So we maybe run it through another time and a
usually
half if there's like a piece we need to nail back down. But then we're basically almost ready to roll again right after eating. So like lately our sessions have gone so fast that we've thrown a third song in just for giggles. Like
There's been a couple times I go, okay, David, I'm going to clean up. He's like, well, we're ready now. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll clean up later.
didn't Aaron and Etta almost like make a bet or something like, okay, well, if we can wrap up the second song by X time, we can do this third song. And we did. And they were like, okay, well, you got to go up and do it now.
Yep.
Is that ever planned? Like, have you ever had where you planned the third song ahead of time, or like?
Yes.
Yeah, there
Okay.
was at least one.
Second session, we tried to do 3.
No, but it
No,
wasn't
that
planned.
one wasn't planned.
I can't think of one that we intentionally did.
There
three
was
songs
one. There was one in the middle where it wasn't like it was. We're definitely doing 3. It was here is the third if we have time. So we at least had
Okay.
like we already in advance knew what it might be. That's not normally how it goes, but I know there was at least
because
one.
Okay.
the When I Come Around we did at the tail end of the second session, and we all looked at each other and said never again, because that song was such an easy pop punk song that any idiot could do it, and it was exhausting, and we're like, that's too much, we can't do it, well, let's not fit a third song in, and we didn't try for a long time.
Yeah, I was vaguely remembering like it went late. Like I have to go put the children to bed.
Right.
Can you please hurry up?
Was that a night one?
It was one. It was past 8.
It might have been
or
an afternoon
at 8
one
or something.
but that we pushed the When I Come Around through, and we're like, okay, well, we've almost got it, let's just keep going. But Joel's voice was getting shot, and we're like, okay, we just have, the kids had to go to bed. We're like, okay, it has to be done. We've got to go.
Yeah, because that was when I was still holding it. So I physically had to be present.
Yeah, we were gun shy for doing a third one for a long time, and now we kind of just, it's almost
been a
always
few
a tease.
recently, yeah.
Like if we get through it fast enough.
So let's play a little game. What do you think is one
Pokemon?
of the top 3? I don't know. I didn't hear it.
Nothing.
What do you think is one of the top 3 most viewed, most liked on YouTube of our songs? So this one's
I know them
just
on
the
YouTube.
platform. Well, then you
Yeah.
can answer later. And anyone else in the chat, if you're watching, feel free to play along which one maybe you think, or which one you think is your favorite. One of those.
I'll answer last for YouTube and TikTok because I'm pretty sure I know them for both of those platforms.
I don't have Jeopardy music pulled up ready for this stream.
Get your
Oh wait.
I can't. I need to learn it. I really. I don't know the Jeopardy theme song. I knew it at one point, but
In true My Dad's Radio fashion, you could learn it right now.
I could. I probably could learn it. The thing is, and this is true. I almost never learn things from sheet music. So if it's like an actual part I have to learn, I usually have to sit there and actually learn it the day before. But normally I just work on off the chord sheet, and that would not work for Jeopardy's theme song.
I never use sheet music either. Different reason. Though.
Well, okay. If you use a tab, I would argue that is sheet music.
Fine.
That's true. But I pull
Sheet
up
music for dummies.
I pull up my tabs on a tablet, so still sheet music.
Is that Inception? Your
All right,
tabs are on a tab, yo.
Top 3. We don't
On
have any.
YouTube.
I don't think we have
On
any
YouTube.
guesses. Oh no, you said
I said YouTube
you said
first.
YouTube. Okay. Well, I'm kind
I'll
of.
just say one. I won't spoil it because I'm very sure that What's Up is still one of the top ones.
It
One of
is.
the top 3. That was an early big success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many did that one get? It was like 20 something.
It was 20 something in the I mean, it was like 10,000 relatively quickly, and I remember it was like because we were getting like 1,000 was a lot of views.
Yeah, and we were shocked.
And it got like 10,000, and it's funny because you even mentioned it just a little bit ago that you were like, yeah, like it didn't fit into the it wasn't a song that you would have picked.
Yeah.
It was Erin's suggestion, and she came in and killed it, and it did really well.
And songs that do well usually have like a big catchy opening, like instrumentation or vocal, and this one doesn't. It's really
just
soft to start with, so it's like but it picked up for some reason. Yeah,
Yep.
So 4 non-blondes.
that's a fun one.
What's another one you guys think did well? Because I kind of know. What about you, Lee? What do you
I'm
think?
looking at the answers. So.
The only one I knew was 4 non-blondes. I don't know what that
So-
is.
I know that the one my dad wanted.
Oh well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
well.
that one did well.
That-
And that one, everyone was like, "What? Why this song? I've never heard this song."
So I remember you picked that song, and Leah will remember that I was stressing out learning that riff because I'm not that skilled of a guitarist usually compared to a lot of the other people in this group, at least. I'm rusty, and I'm getting back into it, and whatever. So I practiced that one a lot. That was one that I did practice a lot for. And I think I remember taking you into the guitar store one of the days at lunch and being like, dude, show me how you're playing this riff so I can try and figure this out. Because I'm struggling. And we got into the room and we figured it all out and we played it. And it sounded great while we were doing it. And then you posted it the next week and it started taking off. Actually, no, sorry. Let me rewind. You sent the mix of it to the band, and Lee and I were together, and at the time, and we listened to it, and we both had chills. Like, this is so good. That was the first one that I was like, holy crap, we've got something with this.
Yeah.
We're doing something.
And then
It's happening.
That was an early one with Brian too.
that was
Yeah.
and then you posted it, and it started kind of taking off for us. It got up to 5,000 or something.
Yeah.
And every time I got to listen to this exciting song it was a riff that I had a hard time with that I kind of conquered, and it was in the room, it sounded so good, and then people seemed to agree with it once we released it. It was I think it was so rewarding, kind of having that loop.
It's an interesting one on piano because it's a Fleetwood Mac song, but we weren't playing the Fleetwood Mac version. We were playing the Rockets version, or I can't remember the band name. They covered it, and it's and they had a pianist. Like the Fleetwood Mac didn't, and this cover band did have one. I call them a cover band, but they're actually a pretty good band in their own right.
The band that covered it.
But I remember being like, oh, I have to actually really learn this because she's doing it's a jam song. The pianist in the original one is probably just doing whatever feels good. But I was like, I've got to nail it because people are going to expect it to sound like this. And I remember I practiced where the glissandos were and I didn't do exactly what they did. But
That was one of the parts that we were so into. We would hear wait for it, and we just air piano down it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I did not always nail it. There's one right at the very end, and I remember being pretty happy that we finally got a take where I got the end one right.
That one was so much fun.
Yeah, at the same time, I think it was that same week or the week before, or that we released that video. Chris Stapleton dropped his version of "Oh Well."
Okay, and that's why I picked
And it was him and Slash.
I was gonna say, what one had Slash? Because
That was "Oh Well." It kind of dropped around that same time. So
Okay.
I think we rid on the coattails of the
Nice.
"Oh Well."
That one was so much fun. So what was the third one, though?
So the third one was also by Erin. And it's
Zombie.
the number one on our Is this TikTok or Instagram?
Well, you can't
yeah.
you can't spoil that because that's a separate game.
I was like, I already know what the top one on TikTok is.
Yeah, I got another one on TikTok.
Well, I mean, everybody knows. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, what's
fine.
our
Then go
top
ahead and
TikTok?
say it.
Yeah, Zombie
Zombie.
by the Cranberries, and I got them pulled up here. It just did under what OL did,
was
4,900.
Sorry, was Zombie the first one that we got the comment of that we had too many
Yeah,
guitars?
it was the first one I played guitar on, and I remember I wanted to play guitar because you said it wasn't that hard, and I was like, I want to play guitar and be in a rock band, and I don't care if they need me, and we
insisted that you do it.
we went like to go buy that guitar the night before from a sales engineer. Like I had other guitars, but I like wanted like a guitar that would fit. And
You played the PRS for that
I
one,
played the
right?
PRS for that one, and I've never played it on another video. I played my Ibanez and my Strandberg for the other ones. But I think actually Joel may have played it on a video because it's got humbuckers, and so
He did.
it's a good guitar. It's not. It needs set up. The bridge is not set up correctly. But
Anyway,
yeah, no, we got the comment that we had too many guitars.
yeah.
And that's why I still think to this day that we should do one where we all have a guitar, even
Yes.
the drummer.
Even the drummer sitting
yes.
at the drum set
Yeah.
has a guitar.
Honestly, though,
That's a MIDI guitar that's mapped to drum.
And then
Pad,
he
like
sh-
Bella
yeah.
Fleck.
Yeah, that would.
I liked Zombie though because that was the one that we kind of almost sounded the closest to the record in like fullness because we had so many guitars. It's one thing that's hard to replicate with only one or two guitar players is that kind of like layered modern guitar playing approach where it sounds so thick and like in your face.
Yeah.
That's one that
it
just
sounded
was
good.
like, yeah. I think one of my friends actually commented like he's heard a lot of Zombie covers, but this was the closest thing that he's ever heard to like someone really nailing the passion of it. Like it was really cool.
And we all rocked out in that video
Dude,
too. Like,
it was fun.
yeah. All right, it's YouTube top 3. What about Facebook?
You didn't put that in my notes, so.
Oh, sorry.
I don't
I
have
guess
the
you have to
answer.
play the game then.
Oh, I see. I bet
Do you have the Facebook stats? Oh, nice.
I don't know the
I
Facebook
love
ones.
that,
off the top of
yeah.
my head.
I don't know the Facebook
I
ones
never
at all.
look at Facebook.
I do. I'm pretty sure that OL was up there though because I remember it also doing. I remember that was that was in the day where I was reposting a lot of them on Facebook, and I would repost the video and then also the YouTube link. But people, if you post the video, people are going to watch the video, just on the platform that they're already on.
The last time I looked at Facebook, I remember the things that were doing well there were surprisingly different than the ones that were doing well on the other
Yes,
platforms.
they're very
Yeah.
different.
Like, well, and I remember specifically OL because I was like, okay, of course it makes sense that on Facebook the classic rock stuff is doing well.
Okay, boomer.
And
Boomer.
And I think that's still been a trend on Facebook. Is the classic rock and the '80s stuff has done well on Facebook.
Yeah, things with virality. So our top content on Facebook/Instagram is the Sugar We're Going Down Swinging Reel.
Oh, interesting! I did not know that one was top on the.
Really?
2,200 plays on that reel.
Nice.
That's a good reel though too. That
It
was
is.
a good.
Yeah.
That was a good cut
Yeah.
from Lee on the iPhone.
And then I'll Be There For You, the Friends theme song.
That is
the
Oh
top
my
video.
gosh.
Yeah.
That was
That's one of the earliest ones too.
Yeah.
1,400 plays.
What's his name? Who's
Dylan.
on?
That's Dylan Hodges joined
And he
us,
hasn't
and
been
his
back
wife.
Voice
yet.
is so good. Yeah, he's someone that we need to get back.
Yeah, he's the Friends theme song guy when it comes to Dad's Radio.
I know.
Poor guy.
I'm so
We
surprised.
need to give him something else.
I'm so surprised he was so willing to do that again for us and be the only thing he does for us. Like,
Yeah.
I offered him to come sing something else with us. He's like, no, I'm good.
No,
All right.
no, he does. He does want to come do something. He just got really busy
Yeah, I
with,
get
with
it.
church and stuff, and he wants to come back and do something for us for sure.
get it.
Lights by Journey,
Yep.
1,400.
Nice.
Go down.
Strawberry Wine actually did really good on
That
Facebook.
was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
1,300
That was a great
plays. That one kind of didn't do great on TikTok or YouTube, but
That
It's
was
a slower jam, and
Yeah.
I think that could be why we're maybe people who had already known it, like.
Facebook also, like, the way its video player works is it incentivizes you clicking in and then you're kind of already invested because it won't play the whole video and it won't play. On Reels, it won't play the whole thing, and then on normal videos, it will play it muted unless you click. And I feel like that can help with ones that are. I love Strawberry Wine, and it was one I did not expect to like have a lot of fun playing, and it's one of my favorites.
I didn't either because I was supposed to play guitar on that, and that was one of the. Do we want to talk about that now?
That was Dan's debut of bass guitar.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be a whole backing band coming in from Indianapolis, but there was a storm that came through, and they were.
Oh, I remember this because that's when I was like, I want to learn how to play bass. And David's like,
Yeah.
do you think you could learn this song? And I went, I'm on less than 3.
No, that wasn't it. It was they all got sick or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because we had
So-
enough time to go, okay, they have to drop out because they're sick. What are we going to do? And we couldn't get anybody else to fill in. It was still just us, and we had
It was
Dana coming.
us and my friend Matt's band,
and we- yeah.
we had
And the Steel
Gary,
we had
Gary Martin,
the last one.
Gary
Yeah.
Martin, who's a Indiana legend when it comes
God,
to
he
steel
was
guitar.
so
and he was
Really good.
incredible. It was
He's
that
in
was
a
that
lot of
made-
That was
bands.
amazing. So,
Plays
but anyway, we had these 2 incredible guests coming in, and all of our plans on instrumentation, other than that, were in the gutter. So all of a sudden, I'm playing bass for the first time in years. So that was one that I actually practiced, and then that was actually when I was really surprised at how much I liked playing both that and the Shania Twain, because one. I'm not really that into country, although that is what my mom listened to. I grew up on those songs, but playing a different instrument and a different genre altogether was probably one of my favorite things. Actually, looking back, is one of my favorites to go listen to too.
Yeah. So we had to. There's been a couple occasions where we've had to scrounge at the last minute, at the 11th hour, to get a working band that will actually. And sometimes we've had
A non-working band.
not enough people for a band, and so we've done a couple unplugged
Yes.
sets.
Very few.
And those are some of my favorite sessions to look back on. But I kind of wish we would do one again, just to like, because our recording has gotten better, the mixing has gotten better, and I think it would sound better and more full if we did more unplugged stuff. So yeah, well, we've had to make do and call in favors and I think the attitude is just kind of like, whoever shows up, we're gonna play music and press record, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And we've been lucky to have a decent video, I think,
For
I mean,
sure.
that's-
every time.
That's the beauty of not having a band with specific members, but a band where come play, come hang out, we'll feed you. And, if you're someone who can only come a couple times and you got your own like band YouTube thing or whatever you're doing, you can still come hang out, if you want. Or if you're like, hey, I just want to come as often as you'll let me, you can come do that too. And so having a deep roster of people helps with that a lot.
We had more of the roster issues back in the day, but I mean, I want to give a shout out to Nate McClure for he's kind of been our rock
Yeah.
since joining us. Like we've been able to, like the days he hasn't been available, we've been able to fill in with Sean or Dibs, which also like, God, those are our backup drummers. Oh my gosh, like,
and David.
and also David and you.
Yeah, the sad thing, the only sad thing about Nate being here is that it means I probably will never play drums again.
Well, so he wants to play guitar, so
If he plays guitar, that would be a funny day. He should play piano.
But no, I want to call him out, especially because for our first ever live show, thanks Evan Ulrich for that, by the way. That sounded more snide than I meant it to be. I really do need to thank you, Evan.
Thanks,
Thanks, Evan.
Giving us
Evan.
exposure in the local market.
Yeah, right.
Jerk.
So we were short a bass player because that was one of our hardest things to lock down consistently. So his first ever appearance was playing bass for us, his like 4th instrument.
And
At the
he
live
did
show.
not have much notice either.
No, it was like
he learned those
3
fast.
days, and he had his MacBook in front of him or his tablet in front of him, like thumbing through all of the chord charts, like, how do I play this? Like, and he did great.
Yeah.
And then since then, like I was like, oh, you play bass? He's like, no, I'm probably gonna drum for you guys mostly. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
realize
sing.
that. He
No.
was at the
the very
He was
first barn
hidden
show.
behind
You
a
don't
giant.
remember that
Yeah, he was right
you're
behind me.
He
bass
played
player.
And we
I did not
For the
remember
first
that
live
at all.
show?
Yeah.
I
was
don't remember that
the
at all.
first
Kinda
time I
came
ever
in
met
under
him.
the radar.
But
Because
you gotta
he was
remember,
still
I
kind of
showed
new.
up late with the kids and then left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wasn't there for practice because I'm pretty sure I had a run that morning or something. Because you had the girls.
Yeah,
in
that's
the morning.
right. You did.
I had a
You
run
did.
that morning.
And
So-
I think like the night before was the first time I'd ever seen Nate in my life. We ran through practice, and then like I'd met him
Yep.
again for the second time, and he's already talking to me like I've known him for 27 years.
That's how Nate is.
Yeah.
I knew him from another Fort Wayne musical institution, Terrible Orchestra, which he's done for a while, and he is like the percussion powerhouse. Terrible Orchestra, like 90% of the percussion that Terrible Orchestra uses is partially owned by him.
He sounded great. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he's-
you both did. You all did, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Lee plays trumpet in it now too.
Shout out to Fort Wayne Terrible Orchestra.
Yeah.
I'm sure Deb would appreciate the shout out.
Can you actually see anything from them online? anymore,
we
or-
don't have anything. We did actually record this last one, and we've got a couple of audio recordings.
Wait, you are Mr. Cameras, and you haven't recorded stuff for it yet?
I don't want to get too much of an aside on Fort Wayne or on the Terrible Orchestra, but I have tried. I've tried twice, and I've had technical issues both times because I'm there playing French horn, so I can't like baby it the whole time.
And recording an orchestra is actually kind of hard. Like it requires like special mic setup and
versus, and you don't want just the camera mic
nah.
because it wouldn't sound great.
Yeah, Deb basically doesn't trust me or Nate to do it anymore, even though we keep offering because we keep it. Something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some maybe eventually. Deb would love it. Deb, by the way, she plays viola for the Philharmonic in town, so very accomplished instrumentalist herself, but not into the technology side of things.
You kind of
That's a
have
very
to.
different skill.
You
you
kind of
can't
have
do
to
everything.
gear for it. I mean, that's one of the I think blessings we have is that we have a great studio space to come and do this. It's a controlled environment.
Thank
we're
you,
not
David.
trying to
For the
record.
most part,
For the most part, we're not trying to record live shows out. Usually, we've done it a couple times where we tried to like capture the live shows we have done, but
But we did that from Sweetwater's professional
Yeah.
board into
Yeah, and
our
it-
own. Yeah.
it adds a layer of stress and complexity though to try to do that and play for an audience.
Yeah.
I think.
It does.
And I think that if we had a dedicated in-ear setup, it would be a lot more doable because it's like even from Sweetwater's board, which they have a ludicrously expensive board. It's a $50,000 like SSL live board. It's a great board, but
Thanks, Chuck.
but they're not trying to do recording like that. That level of board is not built for recording. It's built for you to have an entirely different recording setup on it. And so like we just got a master channel. There's no way to post edit it. It'd be cool to. I mean, we do have it recorded though, and we have video for the whole thing too.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll post some clips on different TikTok things. What are the kids using these days? Instagram.
the Tic Tac.
Tic Tac.
The Tic Tac.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll
So
Skype
what's
you
our-
on the Tic Tac.
What's our top? So speaking of
Yeah,
Tic
let's get back
Tac,
to that.
what's our top 3 on Tic Tac, guys?
Well, we know Zombie.
Yeah, Zombies number one.
Oh, it's
See, the audience gets a preview of this because nobody else can see the screen.
Oh, is it? Well, so I don't know if this is
results.
top
Oh, I
three,
can.
but it's high because I know Hold the Line just did really well. But I don't know. I don't think it's our top three.
Isn't it one of the ones that Eric did?
yeah.
Night Moves?
Night moves. Yeah.
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 Wasn't
Night
that a
Moves
TikTok
is
meme for a
third.
little while though?
Was it?
No, it is. It's the never mind. I don't want to talk about it on there.
Okay.
It's
I don't know it.
Something
it's a
for the kids
specific
to
hotel
Google
chair
later.
TikTok meme.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I still don't know it. I'm on Mom
worry
Talk,
about it.
so
Don't worry about it.
they probably don't deal with that.
It's for adults only.
First,
Oh, Brandon said the show was so fun. He loved it so much.
Yeah, I want to talk about that in like part of our favorite moments part.
okay.
The show.
The show, the live show.
Yeah.
All right, so Roll with the Changes was our second highest.
Roll with the changes. That one was so
26,000.
fun. Oh my god.
And I remember being so sad I missed that one. Although I was very happy because like Benji did a great job on it.
Benji killed it.
And Nate sang on that one, didn't he?
He did.
And I didn't get to
He
see.
drum
It was the
sang.
first
He
time he
drum
drum sang, and I didn't get to see it.
Yeah. But that was also Brandon was it Brandon there?
Brandon played bass.
Yeah, Brandon.
Because I remember like jamming out with Brandon,
Brandon,
on
you
that
can
one.
answer. Were you there?
Are you calling out to Brandon like it's a seance or something?
Kind
No,
of. He's my
there?
buddy,
Chat.
dude.
Brandon, are you there?
Brandon, reach out to us if you were there.
I feel your presence, Brandon. Oh, there you are.
Take control of my iPad screen and tell me.
You're taller than me. There
Here,
you
I'll
are.
bring up the chat so that Brandon can join us from the other side.
The other side.
Anyway, yeah, no, because that was one of those
Sean
songs
plays
that, like,
guitar. How's it going? Welcome.
like I played clean and then got to kick into distortion with this like overdone dripped in chorus stuff, and it was like just a ton of fun to play that song. I wasn't expecting to have a lot of fun playing that song. I was like, oh, this is not the type of thing that I think I can contribute to.
Yeah.
And then I had
Say
a
that
blast
to this day.
I know, I still do it.
In our most recent chat about our
know.
session next weekend, we're doing 2 songs, and Dan's latest comment on the thread is, I don't know what I can contribute to these songs.
Well, I don't.
Do we need to boost your self-esteem?
No, it's not even that. It's like, I guess I just feel lack of imagination, I suppose.
Are you pretending to be humble? Is that what's going on?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Got him.
No.
Brandon did say he was on that
Yeah.
song. So,
Yeah.
and
I think
he
that
had-
was Brandon, was that your first session?
No.
Remember, there's a delay, so it's gonna take. a
It
minute.
might have been.
We did Jenny, too.
Jenny was that day. I think maybe Four Non Blondes was his first.
I think so,
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Which was before
It was
that.
way earlier than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Good number. You want to do number 4 for TikTok?
He did
sure.
I Love Rock and Roll, yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
Let me get rid of the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm a newbie streamer. Saturday in the Park is our 4th highest.
Another
Oh.
really
700.
fun one. That was another really fun one. That was when you played it.
Yeah, we was known.
Was that before
means
or
that-
after Ska Day?
That was,
I think it was after because
Yeah.
Ska Day was your first time playing.
yeah, trumpet.
Yeah.
Well, I think that means that officially you were in at least 2 of our most popular videos. Cause
Oh, yeah.
What's Up and
Ooh.
Saturday in the Park. Oh, that's me. My phone's telling me to play Wordle.
Do it now on camera.
I've actually already
yeah.
done it for today.
The high stakes world.
I was really annoyed that I
What
kept losing
great
my
timing.
streak, so.
Okay. Fair enough.
There's no time like the present, Alex, to win your Wordle challenge for the day.
I got in 3 today. So.
We need to do more songs with horns in them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially now that we have a lead on some trumpets.
Yeah. Matt Baker let
I mean
us know
trombones,
that
yeah.
he's been talking to people.
Oh,
He's been
nice.
putting the word
about
out.
who his trombones are, because I know a couple. I know a few trombones in Fort Wayne, but I don't know the team he mentioned. I don't know them.
The services team?
Yeah.
I think it's maybe people in band and orchestra service
Yeah, it must be.
that maybe they like take in rentals or something.
They do have. They
or-
have a band actually, like a little. It's not. It's more than a quintet, but it's like a little ensemble band that they formed. That's mostly band and orchestra and those people. So that would make sense.
So because the inception was to be just like an online band, how did you guys go about to playing now 3 shows? You want to kind of talk about that and your feelings around that?
Go on.
I can, I'll just say that the first show was sort of just, Evan has a band called Akasabi, so
Evan
we'll shout out, Evan Ulrich has a band called Akasabi. We've linked them in several of the videos that he sang on.
They're great. Check them out.
They're great, more hard
Metalcore.
rock, metalcore of a style.
Sleep Token, that kind of thing.
And so him and some other friends in the IT department who also have a band, and they're called Hey Buddy. At the time, it was the Cox Family Band, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
And so they decided they wanted to do a show. And so Evan figured out he could rent a coworker's barn for really cheap.
Yeah.
That was the whole spark of the show.
Evan
was,
had never played a live show, and he
never-
realized he was in a bunch of bands and wanted to do one, and he could.
I want to put together a show. I can rent this barn really cheap, and so I'm going to do it. And so he started just asking people like, hey, would Dad's Radio be interested in being on the roster for this show? It's going to be totally thrown together, and we're just going to see what happens, friends and family, whatever. I said, sure.
And the first thing I asked you was, how many songs? You said 30 minutes. I was like, do we have 30 minutes of
think at the
material at that time?
I don't think we even had.
We put up
Our
all
first 10
of
videos.
I know. Well, we put up all the songs for a vote, and we just chose the songs that fit the 30 minutes. But there were only a few that got left off. Like Say It Ain't So made it, which why did that make it? Like there were things that, because it was one of the few that we had to fill up the time, and
you
like
were
we
just
could do it
doing
consistently.
what you had done.
Exactly. So it was no, but that was a lot of fun though. Like I was so nervous because it was kind of thrown together. We didn't have a real monitoring system or in-ears because we just couldn't figure it out, and we had kind of a half solution. And I enjoyed it immensely and wanted to do it again.
Yeah. For me, it was a little bit of nostalgia because I had been in bands. I had a couple bands in my earlier 20s.
You also had solo career.
I had some solo stuff. I did a lot. I played a lot of stuff live.
You did.
And a previous successful YouTube channel.
And a previously quite successful YouTube channel that I had sort of abandoned. And so it brought up some feelings for me of like, just like, I do kind of miss this. And I still kind of get that feel a little bit when I play like at church and stuff, but it's not the same as like entertaining people. And so I don't know, I kind of like it again. I still don't have this desire to like go out and load my stuff into a dive bar at 2 in the morning with a start time of 11 p.m. and try to drag people out to see me.
Honestly, I
when
distinctly...
your wife can barely stay awake.
I remember, honestly, my first reaction to you asking if I wanted to do this show was, holy shit, really? You said we weren't going to do that. And then you were like, no, yeah, I'm serious. Evan's got this whole thing. I was like, oh, yeah, no, totally. Then the question about how many songs, because that's a real problem. And then the whole crap, can I remember that many songs in a row?
Yeah, we didn't have a prepared show for sure at the time. Like there was no.
But
and I mean, it was a long show too. I mean, it was planned. There were a few people planning to play, but he had the venue for a decent amount of time. So there's some stuff like, can we remember all that?
Wasn't there something that night too?
Yeah, it was like one of the Sweetwater family events, like at the zoo.
It was at the zoo.
Yeah,
that was zoo night.
And then hold on,
Evan's done this twice now.
Yes, no, exactly. I was just
for
going to say
both of
that.
his shows. Okay,
but I do want to say though that I am grateful for the fact that you were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it, because like if anyone was going to be the barrier to us doing it, would be you, because you'd be like, it's not a thing I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But we found the right circumstances where it kind of works for us, right?
Yeah.
Like.
So who's the one? I forget who's the one who pushed doing it at Sweetwater, because you had to like sign up for that.
That was a group. So Evan Ulrich kind of planted the seed, but Brandon Irwin kind of also kept needling at it, and then.
Well, they put a classifieds post out.
Oh, at work?
At work.
But no, but
we were looking for bands, and like several different members of My Dad's Radio reached out to me individually with DMs.
People had been asking before
and be like,
that.
"Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see that they're trying to get a band to play?"
It was definitely the, because we'd been talking about it, but there was not a lot of movement on it.
Yeah, and until that classified, and then that happened, and then you were like, "Fine, Dan, you can do it, or we can do it if you deal with all of it." I'm like,
and Dan did.
Fine, I did.
Fine.
And then, well, it was funny though, because like we had agreed to that, and then like the next couple of days, you ran into me. He's like, "Hey, Evan's talking to me about something. I told him to talk to you about it, and that if you were willing to deal with it, then we do it." And that was kind of it. He was like, "You can like whatever, be the live events coordinator." It's like, oh, okay. And I didn't really know what that meant. And then I ran into Evan, and Evan's like, "Hey, Dan, I need to talk to you about something." I'm like, I wonder if that's related to what David's talking about. He's like, I gotta go to a meeting. I'll talk to you in like half an hour. And then I walked over to his desk. He's like, "Oh yeah, so you know that barn show I did? Yeah, you guys want to do it again, but longer?" I'm like, oh no.
Oh, we had just done one. We just had an hour set list.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I will say that the second show was a lot less stressful.
But I didn't know that at the time, because we had just agreed to even do the live at lunch at all. And then Evan's like, "Yeah, let's do this other show too." And then they ended up both being in the same month. But by the time I had agreed to take on the responsibility for both, we didn't have anything prepared for the live at lunch.
Well, you didn't even
yet.
know who would be willing to do it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's a big.
My original
factor
assumption
of
was,
it.
sure, we'll do this if it's the exact same roster, the exact same set
Which
list.
it wasn't.
Yeah, which
the
are what
exact
we
same
had a
roster.
different bass player, because Brandon
Yeah.
joined us for live at lunch but couldn't make the date, so we
Right.
had Jamie
Fill in.
fill in for us.
And they both nailed it.
He's our OG bass player. He was in our first video.
And he's actually, I mean, all of our bass players, all of our dedicated bass players are great. But yeah, Jamie has perfect pitch, which always impresses me.
I'm really glad that both of our bass players, got to play a live show with us, like that full set with us too. That's really cool that it worked out that way.
And Nate.
And Nate.
Yeah, and me too.
And Nate. Well, no, but
glad that both of our
thankfully Nate
really
was
good
there
bass
too,
players.
because Sean was
and
supposed to
Nate.
make one of the two. I think Sean was supposed to make one of the two, wasn't he?
Didn't Sean play drums?
Sean played drums for the barn
for
show.
Band Bar Show, yeah.
Brandon said, my wife would have killed me if I did another show that month.
Yeah.
But she made it out to Live at Lunch because that is a very family-friendly location.
It's lunch.
But that goes
It
back
is
to that
lunch.
whole...
You
public-
can feed children.
Right. We found the right opportunities for us to play live that make sense for all of us. Like, yeah, there was some stress. I probably burdened more of it than most of the other people in the group. Like, and then it was so easy to do at Sweetwater though, because it's Sweetwater, and like their sound people are all super professional sound people. So we sounded better than I think we ever have. Was at the live.
I mean, because that was my stress, was we had the barn show and it was a lot of fun, but it was like a pretty curated audience. Like we had like, it was very word of mouth, and we were doing all the production ourselves. And we had a sound guy, but like it was. The modern situation was not what we have in the studio.
It's not ideal,
and that's what we're used to. And like we have all of our own mixes and our own
James.
And I knew like we had had a lot of discussions about like what's the modern situation going to be like at Sweetwater. And the final answer was, we're not going to do in-ears. They're going to have wedges. But we had wedges at the barn show, and it was very difficult. And thankfully, the equipment at Sweetwater is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Not just the equipment. Y'all got posters. That was the coolest thing. There was posters with the band.
Speaking of posters,
though, hold on. Speaking of live shows and posters,
What are you guys up to?
We have
Alex and Lee did something for you guys.
Oh.
of our appreciation for you, David, setting everything up.
Just don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
it was Lee's idea.
Oh, nice.
So it's the set list, right?
Yeah, the set list that's signed by everybody, and the poster that Sweetwater published, which we realized
awesome.
that they are the posters are probably cut from 8.5 by 11, so it's a little smaller. But
That's so awesome.
Yeah, you can put that up.
Gosh, thank you guys. This is going up on the wall in here.
We do need more artwork up here.
Well,
And it's got our signed
you
set
can
list.
live.
Oh man, this is awesome. Heck yeah.
I was kind of hoping that you forgot about it.
I kind of remembered, but there's a set list sitting on top of the monitor over there.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, someday we got to do something with that. That's future David's
if you
problem.
remember, I think it was Evan that grabbed a poster for me, and because he said he thought he saw people throwing it away, and I said, grab as many as you can, and I'll wallpaper the bathroom or something.
I have one that's at my cube, and I think
that was mine.
That's yours.
So
Okay.
there's still one floating around down here.
I don't
too.
even know if we have one now,
No, that
because
was
we
mine.
had one.
I might be able to
between
give
the
you
two of us.
mine then.
Okay.
so
I
that
couldn't
you can have
find any. I scoured the building.
I mean, they
Yeah.
generally they
Cool.
printed the posters. They had them out for a pretty short amount of time, and then they did get rid of after the performance. They took them down.
I hope they recycled.
Yeah, and that's actually a fun poster because it's a commemoration of both shows. That picture was taken at the barn show.
It was.
And
Oh, that's funny.
there's Nate on bass. I'm there literally scrolling through it on my
I
phone.
think Lee took the picture too. So
Nice.
Yeah. Brandon did say, Dan, you did an amazing job doing getting it all coordinated.
oh, thanks, buddy. I had a lot of help. I really did.
I gotta put this somewhere in
Well, we've
Maybe
been
down
going
there.
for an hour, so
next segment.
we can.
We're just trying to wrap it up.
While we're moving to next segment, if you have any comments or questions that you want to have us answer,
Oh, hi, Ellie. I see you said hi.
so what about some
Texted
like
me.
She say hi, Dad,
Yeah. Directly by text.
by text.
Oh,
So it's not even-
Commenting on the actual stream is such a millennial thing.
Why don't we talk a little bit like behind the scenes type stuff, or like, yeah, behind the scenes? Because obviously the only thing that really show video wise is, besides a few pictures that Lee and I might capture, is only just the recording and then the tiny little bit of banter at the end. So what's, like some of your favorite behind the scenes stuff? Is there a song that you really connected with? Things like that.
So I'm a bit of a person who just stretches to stretch.
Yeah.
So I do like, we haven't done a lot, but a lot lately at least, but early on, I feel like, I don't know, I started stretching in between takes or even whatever. And then everyone started kind of like laughing and joining in a little bit. And then it kind of became a ritual in between songs where if we kept messing up, it's like, oh, well, we haven't stretched yet. We only,
get all
and
the
then
jitters out.
I think we've posted pictures of some of them online, but like, yeah, I really like our group stretch sessions. It seems to
They're not
recenter
very
and rebuild.
formal.
We call it
We just
limbering
all
up.
do our
Yeah.
own stretches.
That's
as
all
a
you
group.
need to do. That's all you need to do.
Yep. Usually, yeah, when we're super frustrated.
It just relieves the
Yeah.
tension and like get all the heebie-jeebies.
So
away.
we'll do limber up, and then I'll usually follow that by re-stressing everyone out. I'll say, remember, guys, big smiles. This is the one.
Perfect. One more take.
Perfect take, everyone. Here we go.
And it's like the first 3 seconds. Start again.
First chord.
Oh man.
It's too bad we don't always have the cameras rolling. I mean, it'd be way too much footage, but it'd be sweet to see a supercut of people saying it's time to
Shit.
stretch, and then
Yeah.
I keep telling David we need like a security camera, and we could just have security camera footage every now and again as reels.
I would like a supercut of all the times that we've had to stop because I'm the one that screwed up, because it's usually like my face and body language is obvious. And I've gotten
favorite-
better at that, but it's
I
My
remember
favorite-
at the beginning I had to tell you like, don't show it if
know.
you fub a no
know.
in the camera.
There's
like,
an Easter egg of Dan in every video if you watch for it. So if you go back through our whole catalog, Dan will usually will end the song, and he'll do this. He puts his hands on his hips like
I know exactly what you mean. I completely, yes, I do that
so
all the
many
time.
videos where we like
Awesome.
nailed it, and you're just like,
there's one, and this actually made the final edit, where I'm playing bass and I was trying to sing backup, and there's like a woohoos, and I miss them every
go, "Oh,
time.
crap."
And yeah, there's the one we actually used. We go in, I miss the woohoo, and I say audibly, "Oh crap!" into the mic, and then get the the audio's in the video.
It's good, yeah.
I didn't watch it. I
Yeah,
don't
no, I've gone
remember
back.
it really
It's
clearly.
quiet, but you can hear it.
hang on, we have the power
Where
of
is
the
it?
internet.
Amber, where you and Jamie are making faces at each other, and if you, it's blinking, you miss it, but like you're like,
I vaguely remember that.
yeah, and you can't see Jamie because he's turned away from the camera, looking at David, but David's definitely making doofy faces back at Jamie.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
because he started.
No, I
looking at
know,
me.
but you keep.
There's definitely in Jailbreak where you guys were all like looking at each other. You're like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the jailbreak moment where Brian goes looking right to left,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we
We're
were
all
all
like-
look right to left. I think I'd seen you do it on one of the takes. I'd seen somebody do it. It was either David or Dan, and I was like, I'm gonna do it too.
Brandon says he's always looking around goofy. He also is always jamming with
is
somebody,
jamming.
whether it's
Brandon,
with
no.
you or like you're just having fun doing like a. I don't know. You would think you're not actually playing an instrument the way you're moving your guitars. Like that's the way I would pretend I'm playing a guitar. I'd be like, ah.
I wish I could play with Brandon by my side all the time. He just brings out the fun goofiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
so good.
fun.
He has a lot of energy. It's all, I whenever I watch the videos, and I'm like, man, I need to be more animated because you both are great, and Kyle actually, who's
Kyle, yeah.
played in a couple very recently. Really gets into
Kyle's
it,
a
and I'm
good
always
find.
like, there's one where I'm next to Kyle, and Kyle is like rocking out,
yeah.
and I'm like, I need to play this guitar part correctly.
I feel like I've been focusing more on trying to play better, and I've stopped being as animated as I used to be unless I really know the song.
You were definitely the animated king in the beginning.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
was. I guess
what
I got
happened,
self-conscious
Dan?
about it. I got self-conscious about it.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
What
There's
happened?
something you need to let us
Feelings.
know. Do
You
you
want to
need
hear
to
about my
release something?
feelings?
Let's open up your feelings to the internet.
Oh boy.
This is a safe
Right here on
place.
This is a safe place.
Facebook and YouTube.
It's just you, me, Alex, Lee, and Nikki,
two other
and the whole
people.
internet, and Brandon in
Oh,
the
hey, Brandon.
chat.
Oh, I feel safe then.
I'm pretty sure
This
he's
is actually a safe space. Then.
I'm pretty sure he's our only viewer at this point, so
Aw.
that's okay.
All right.
There's no
I
pressure.
told you, everyone watches on replay.
Yeah, we'll be.
I watched your latest mix stream. I didn't know you were doing it, and so I didn't watch
Oh.
it live, but I did watch it.
I
Almost
skimmed it.
everything I watch is replay, or they're halfway through and I start back from the beginning. So
The mix stream was fun because people got to obviously hang out and give me feedback and stuff on them as I was going through the song, and so
Yeah.
it made it feel like I wasn't like just alone in my basement.
well, he usually does it while I'm like putting the girls to bed and stuff. So he is alone in the basement.
I'm alone in the basement, the cold basement.
We haven't talked about it at all, but I'm like desperate to talk about our like gear, some of the like the behind the scenes gear that we use because
we're on
I
behind the
find it
scenes.
fascinating.
Do it.
Like I want to start with the cameras because I know more about the cameras. Because in the very earliest videos we were using your Sony A6400, right? That's
Yes.
which is a great camera. On the monopod, and Nikki would hold it. And then
And then we got the
And a
stare
phone.
angle.
and yeah, and a phone,
iPhones.
yeah, and a phone on the
That's
stairs.
right.
Yeah.
And so like, and you would do the phone angle sometimes, because we had a little tripod for the phone too. And then I was like, I have cameras, so
Everyone, you're telling us this now?
well, and I started to bring so for a while we had a setup with my Sony A7, which I've had for many years for photography, and the A6400. We do the 2 camera angles with there and on the stairs. And since then we've kind of gone crazy because I bought 2 more full frame Sony cameras, and David bought this Blackmagic. Is it a Pocket 4K or?
Yep.
Yeah, which is an amazing
Oh,
camera.
you bought this one? You didn't just have this one?
Yeah, I bought this camera.
Okay.
Damn it, Alex.
We acquired 3 cameras
for
from the
outing me,
classifieds between the
Alex.
2 of us.
I probably knew that. I block out his purchases.
I did tell you about this one
No,
because
no,
I
I know.
remember about this one.
And I mean, I think the big step up was obviously the Blackmagic camera because it's we're shooting like log footage and it's a lot more gradable and then I don't know, did you started using the slider before or at the same time?
At the same time,
same
Yes.
I got the slider out. I had the slider. It's made by a company called Kessler. They're out of Plymouth, Indiana.
Arguably the most famous like indie slider company.
Yeah, yeah. And so I used to work for them. So this is all gear I had acquired in my time. This is a pattern of me working at places and acquiring products they make or sell. So yeah, we got the slider back out. You added several of your Sony cameras.
Yeah, so I mean that means that most of the videos on average, as long as I'm here,
All
are
the
shot-
videos that you are here for.
Yeah, because I sometimes I leave a camera or two, but yeah, most of the videos that I'm here for, we shoot with the Blackmagic on the main and the the Sony Alpha series full frame cameras for the other angles. But we also use the iPhones and we use the A6400. I think the most like we've started to do like we'll have 5 angles because I'm including the TikTok angle. Because we'll always have a drum cam usually, and that's like the dedicated
Yeah,
angle.
Dib started that because he brought
With
a
his GoPro.
He brought a GoPro.
Yeah,
And it was a good idea.
We liked that angle.
And I have like a bunch of ultra wide lenses that was like, oh, this is a perfect use.
Well,
for
it
them.
helped, especially because when we have a big group, it's hard to always see the drums with the main camera. And so this way, we were trying really hard to make sure you could always see somebody at an angle. And so it made it easier to make sure that the drums were seen by having their own dedicated camera and then allowed everyone else to be placed nicely. So we still try to get the drum in the main camera, but if it's a big group, which sometimes it is, it's easier to have their own dedicated one.
And I think that ended up being the pattern for a while in the later videos. Was we'd have the main camera, we'd have the drum camera, we'd have a subject camera, and that was usually most of them. And then occasionally we'd add another camera. Yeah. So we have the A6400 to use. We rarely use my A9, but yeah. So that's the cameras. I love the camera stuff. I can geek out about that all day. We've used a bunch of lenses too, but I feel like the secret sauce. I mean, and it's not a perfect piece of gear, but like it is kind of defined like the way we record is the mixture you use. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't even know about before I started recording you. I knew a lot about mixers in this category, but not this one.
Okay. Yeah, so it's the Soundcraft UI24R. It's a 24 channel mixer, but it's 20 mic preamp inputs. And it just USB out, and you can use it as an interface, a recording interface in your DAW.
Fully rack mounted.
Fully rack mounted. It's got Wi-Fi built into it. You can also hardwire it to a network connection. And what I liked about the Soundcraft mixer over the other mixers I was evaluating was every other mixer you had to have an app on your phone.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm just thinking this through. Like if I'm going to have 40 or 50 different people cycling through here trying to get onto the mixer, I can't be having to like get everyone downloading the app and like getting it entered into it. You can just, this one just has a web page you can go to. So as long as they can get on my Wi-Fi and they have a web browser on their phone, they can get into the mixer and adjust their monitor mix.
And it not only does it work great on iPhones, like that's what they clearly designed it around. It works on Android phones, it works on iPads. You can open it on your laptop. So if like someone is running like their lyrics, and again, none of them require apps. Like everything just works. I've never had a device that didn't work with it. I think that's kind of a killer feature.
Yeah.
And it's a fully digital mixer and it doesn't have a physical surface other than the preamps, right?
Yep.
So you really can do everything from that app.
You can wire. It has a HDMI and USB port, so you can get a compatible touchscreen for it. But I started looking up the touchscreens that are compatible with this mixer, and they're all discontinued models that you can't find anywhere. And if you can find a used one, they're like $500. It's like, I'll just stick with the web interface for what we do.
Completely,
And I mean, considering that we use DI boxes for almost everybody, I think the preamps sound pretty good. I think it's been pretty reliable. It occasionally crashes on us, but we're not,
Crashes on us.
occasionally lost a pretty good take to the camera.
Like we did a live stream on TikTok of our rehearsal for the live at lunch show, and the mixer crashed on us twice.
Wow.
During that practice.
Is that when you switched it off of the wireless? And
that's when I ran a cable across my carpet and taped it down to get Ethernet over to the desk so we could hardwire everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the obviously being all digital and being able to access it from your phone is great. But the fact that it can do, 6 submixes?
8.
8 submixes.
It's got 8 aux. Actually, no, it has 8 XLR outs. And then there's 2 headphone outputs.
Okay, that's not
that you can map. There's
an
an auxiliary 9 and 10 that you can map to the additional headphone output. So you can do 8, 9 submixes.
But we do
them in stereo. Yeah. So we do aux 1 and 2 is one mix, 3 and 4. So we limit the number of mixes we can have, but it gives people the ability to like pan stuff, and which we've talked about. Maybe not doing that for everybody and just having a couple stereo mixes. That way we can get more people having their own unique mixes.
That'd be helpful.
Mono mixes.
I'd rather have a mono mix that I could control than a stereo mix that I have to share.
I mean, in this price range, it's actually kind of rare to have it be you be able to choose. Like if you want to run a mix stereo or have them split. Like most of the mixers in this price range, you're a fixed set of stereo and a fixed set of mono sub mixes. So.
And I learned on this mixer with the latest firmware, you can actually chain them over Ethernet and do a full. It's like 60. How many was it? Like 32 by 32, something crazy number by, was it 40 by 40 matrix? So you can like use all the inputs of both mixers and all the outs of both mixers, if you wanted to like go that crazy with it.
And we
You guys
have
are way in the weeds.
Nerds.
I have no
He
idea what
said
you're talking
he wanted
about.
to geek out, and so
Yeah.
I'm scratching Alex's itch.
we've scratched it. I think the takeaway from that, I mean, mainly is just that, like, yeah, we mostly get our own individual mixes, and if we have too many people, people sometimes share because we'll split it
Yeah,
out to a separate headphone amp.
And
But
apparently I'm deaf.
Yeah, if you ever
Well-
share a monitor mix with Dan, your ears are gonna get blown out.
Destroyed.
it doesn't help that we don't all use the exact same in-ears, and they all have different sensitivities. So like sometimes it's the
That's
same.
true.
Like that's what happens with me is that if I'm sharing a mix with someone and I'm sharing a final output amp with them, like mine are super sensitive, and it's very easy to hurt my ears. Same thing with Brandon because we have the same in-ears, but. All right, I'm satisfied. We talked the tech. You don't mix on a Mac though. That's actually something I wanted to call out because, like I also don't mix on a Mac when I'm at home. But but it is kind of it's something worth calling out because it means you can't like do composite audio devices and all of that. You rely on your sound card to do like you have to have the number of inputs you're going to have it or have the ability to chain them within the card or the mixer itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've gotten a little fancier with the computer itself. I did buy some Universal Audio DSP cards, PCIe cards, so I can run Universal Audio plugins, which helps a lot. And we just upgraded the studio to have an Apollo X4, which we are not going to use for Dad's Radio yet, but when I get the next Apollo, the X8P, to add to this one, I'll have all the I/O we need. And we'll have like unison preamps on all the things, and it'll be awesome.
I know that
It'll sound
Nate's
even more better.
excited about that. Nate likes his Apollos.
It already sounds really good. I think it's just going to level us up even more.
I'm excited for the next song we put out
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing with, speaking of mixing, I've been playing with Luna. So I've been doing Studio One has been my DAW of choice. I tried when we first started, I don't know if it was our first session. I think we've always been on Studio One for Dad's Radio. But when I first started recording in the basement, I built a Linux machine.
You're using Reaper.
And I used Ardor.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Yeah.
It was a
remember
Ubuntu
that.
Studio, and I tried Ardor. That was bold.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's bold. I've never managed to succeed.
I
in
came
doing
over here
Linux
and we were playing some songs trying to figure out what we were going to do for the first Dad's Radio on there. And I remember you showing me your Ardor setup. Yeah.
What I ran into with Ardor is great for tracking. Worked well with the mixer. I could do all the things. But when I got to mixing, you can't use any VSTs and you can if you like get Wine working in Linux. And
You might as well be on Windows.
at that point, it was like, well, I'm going Windows. I'm not spending Mac money.
That's interesting. I didn't know you had tried doing it because I've tried doing a Linux install too, and I've had the same problems.
Yeah.
Although I've had a lot more problems with hardware compatibility, but it usually was on lower end cards.
Well, I never planned to use the studio computer for video editing or
Yes,
mixing.
That's right.
Because when I built it, this is the journey you asked earlier in the stream. Like, when does it end? Is there an end to the upgrades and the spending? The beginning of that journey was buying a studio computer, and I'm like, I'm just gonna buy the cheapest components I can for a $400 computer, and all I'm gonna use it for is tracking.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna take the stems up to my gaming computer and mix it up there. And then I realized I hate walking up 2 flights of steps.
Well, the other thing too is when he edits, he'll edit with his headphones, but then he also wants to listen to it. Right. And that's upstairs next to the kid's bedroom, and most of the time when he can do that, it's in their bedtime, going to bed or in their bedtime, and then he can't listen to it out. And so it was hindering his ability to do that. And so it's like, well, let's just do it all here.
I'll just I upgraded my gaming rig upstairs, and I took the RTX video card and put it in this computer, installed Windows, and then I had to figure out a video editing solution because I grew up on Adobe.
Yeah, what to use? Actually,
Premiere.
I don't know about your.
I don't use Premiere now. I grew up on Premiere, and I looked into Creative Cloud licensing these days and what it would take to run it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it. So I use DaVinci Resolve.
Yes, I should have guessed.
It is DaVinci Resolve because it's $3 and free cents. Costs zero money, and it does everything we need.
Nice. And I really like that.
And it's also it's an industry standard in its own right. Like
is.
obviously for color grading is like what it's really well known for, but I mean it's become pretty well used NLE as well. So
Yeah.
I use it. I'm not good at it. And it's really annoying going between it and live because they are completely different.
Yeah.
Like the way the timelines work and the keyboard shortcuts and even the way the mouse reacts to stuff is completely different. So I'm really, really bad at it. But
Yeah. It gets the job done. As long as I can multicam edit, I can. It's a perfect editor for me. All right.
Well, do we want to cut our 1-year cake?
Sure.
Yeah, we should
Cookie
talk.
cake.
While we're cutting the cake, we should talk about. Well, I don't think we should do a fan Q&A because I think the only people in the chat right now are still Brandon.
Hi, Brandon. I love you. Say it back.
We did go up a little bit and then back down.
Was it during the nerd speak?
We talked about
Yeah.
stories. We talked about guest appearances.
We scared them off.
We mentioned some guest appearances.
Yeah, we did.
Dana Powell, she was great.
Mhm.
Elizabeth Lee. Gary Martin, we can count him as a guest appearance.
For sure.
But I think we want to do more of that. I kind of always had the idea of like singer-songwriters who don't have a band joining us, and then they have
like
a
that.
backing band.
I like that.
But I also I'm trying to figure out like what would be a good way to get a full band in here. Like, do we have just the full guest band and then like a couple of our members, or do we just showcase their band as like do a full band takeover of My Dad's Radio?
That feels like something different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not us anymore.
That doesn't feel like Dad's Radio. That feels like somebody else coming in and
variety hour.
Yeah. No, I like having the guest feature. I really do like the idea of maybe a singer-songwriter like Elizabeth Lee that doesn't have a full band backing her all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it is interesting because when we were doing Dana Powell, we were going to have that band come in, and I was curious how that was going to go. That was an interesting
me
trial
too.
run, and like, because I think that there's a way to do it, but I do think it's more of a logistical challenge, especially because we don't always have our lineup like 100% dialed, like nailed down up until like a couple days before.
I think I like the idea if there's ways that we can work Dad's Radio into it more. So like if they bring a full backing band, I like having all the guitars, but sometimes that's just overkill.
I mean,
And I'll admit that even.
we could always use more guitars.
We always could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to
Despite
be 20
what the
guitar guy.
internet says, we could always use more guitars.
If someone was interested in playing with My Dad's Radio, how would they? Do they need to send you work? Like how do they do that?
$500 to apply.
Hold on.
Literally any way to communicate with us, we will see it. We read every comment on every video.
Yeah.
We see every email.
Call your Sweetwater sales engineer and
Call
ask
your
them about it.
Sweetwater sales engineer.
Find us.
Tell them you want to play on My Dad's Radio.
Just take this.
They will find us through
It's
the
free too, by
classifieds.
the way. You don't have to give us $500.
Say my customer called in and they want to know how to get on My Dad's Radio. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't call Sweetwater. Do email us. Do comment on the videos.
Unless your sales engineer is Nate and you're going to buy something.
Yeah, if you're going to buy something from Nate McClure as your sales engineer, just mention in passing, like, you'd like to come appear on My Dad's Radio.
Maybe we'll get
She wants some cookie cake.
She knows what's up.
Yeah,
you must
she
have
knew
heard
it.
us cutting.
She smelled it.
She's watching the stream from upstairs. They finally found it on
Oh, did
YouTube.
they?
I bet they did.
That's great.
They're crafty.
Wait a minute, they've got cookie cake.
Wait
Hold
till
on,
they
wait.
cut the cookie cake.
Wait. You gotta give your sissy one.
That'd be funny if that was a real.
I really hope that's what happened. I really do.
We're just gonna imagine that's what happened
Yeah.
for the sake of the story.
We got stream sniped.
Yeah.
I believe it. Is that Gen Alpha still?
It's kind of like getting raided. Is that what they call it when you like somebody? Like when you
Ratioed?
get no, like when you get
raided.
doxxed or when you get raided.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when like cops come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's,
That's
and this,
swatting.
But this is like the,
That's a
swatting.
swatting.
Yeah.
But this is like kid version. They come and steal your cookies. All right. top favorite internet comments from our videos.
I think it's always gonna be drummer needs to Google Possum Kingdom plus Flam, because that's, I don't know if there's been a session since that we haven't referenced that somehow. Nate wasn't even there, and he's become the poster child for this comment too, where drummer needs to Google whatever, and it's now pointedly at Nate, even though you were the one drumming that day, which is the best part.
Wait, did you not do whatever that is?
He did.
I did.
Oh.
Well, no. I
What
don't
is flam?
believe to
I don't
this
know what this
day,
is.
I stand firm that there are no flams in that song.
What's a flam?
It's you hit with both sticks, but like
Hang on.
just barely offset from each other.
I'll show you. Hang on.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Drunk on cookie cake.
Yeah.
So as opposed to a hit, it's a 2-stick.
It's a little different.
So kind of like a march.
Right.
Yeah, they use it. They use it in marching bands a lot.
All right, and I know that because I Googled it after the commenter said Google flams.
Just to make sure.
Don't admit that.
I take these comments very seriously.
David
I will
needs to
literally
Google,
do whatever you tell me
yeah,
to
but-
do in the comment section.
But
Drum
anytime
fundamentals.
we're struggling with anything, it's like, whoever needs to Google how to do this right or whatever now. But it's usually pointed at Nate.
We like to pick on Nate.
Yeah, we do.
He makes it easy though. He brings it on
He enjoys
himself.
it.
I think
Okay.
he feeds on it.
Can we comment on the
powerful.
fact that Nate is color coordinated with his drums? He switched drums. So the first he brings his own drums. Whenever it's not the tan pretty ones. Whenever it started with like seafoam green, he had seafoam green shoes, and now he has deep blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now he
Like-
wears deep blue shoes and a deep blue shirt.
He did this, I don't want to say slowly, it wasn't that slow, but it was still over time, where he showed up to one session with like a blue kick drum and like a blue something else. And then the next time he'd replace another thing and it was blue. And then the next time he came in and the snare was blue. And the next time he came in and his shoes were blue. I'm like, what are you doing? What's happening?
He comes an hour early to set
Yeah.
up his drums.
It's just like terrible orchestra. He's used to it. He bought the shells first because he's not here, so I can tell it. But because they're not wraps, you should know they're not wraps.
Yeah, I know.
They are like this very fancy paint job they do in the factory where the drums spin and they do the base coat and they do the like swirls and then it's lacquered. So it's very fancy. And then he really was committed to the blue. So he bought the blue cymbals and the blue snare.
I've pulled up a image representation.
Is that
Yeah.
his I'm sexy and I mow it shirt?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
this shirt says, "Oh, this
I'm
might
sexy
be."
and I mow it, and it's got a lawnmower on it.
No, this is a different one.
Oh, I like that one better.
He wore that one during the live lunch, I remember. Because all you can see from the camera angle is I'm sexy.
That's great. That's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. He even has a blue kick drum beater that you can't even see
Yes.
on any camera
Yes.
shot.
Because it came the day the live at lunch, but after the live at lunch, because he was mad about the fact that it didn't arrive at the place we were you guys were playing at in time for it to be during the performance.
Yeah, if we ever do a kick drum cam, that'll really come in useful. But he won't do double bass, so...
Yeah.
I'm very curious what his house looks like. If his wife lets him be this coordinated.
It's all pink.
Okay, it says stop something Planet of the Apes. I want to get off. Stop.
What?
He's trying to figure out what Nate's shirt says here.
shirt says said that day. It's got like Simpsons characters on it.
I don't watch Simpsons, so I don't know.
This screen grab is legendary, by the way, where I paused.
It's pretty good. Yeah. You should screen cap it.
He looks like he's enjoying himself.
Sorry, Nate. There you go. Now he looks like he's not enjoying himself. Oh man. Look at that professional scene switching.
Wow.
Look at us.
Wow.
Look how far we've come. Just over a couple hours.
Yeah, we're gonna stop posting to YouTube. We're gonna be professional Twitch streamers now.
Yeah. We're just
Wait.
podcasters
Wait,
now.
what?
Oh, no.
My dad's radio is now a talk show because it still works.
That's true.
Morning AM, driving to work.
Yeah, we don't play music.
We got to come
anymore.
up with crazy host names.
Yeah.
Though, like
We need to get someone to cover sports. I don't think any of us here do that.
No.
No. None of us would be able to do that.
all right, what's next for My Dad's Radio? Is that up to me or is this a group decision?
Well,
We didn't talk about this before.
I figured you were gonna have an announcement.
I think
for
we're
us.
going to open a restaurant. We're really pivoting hard here.
no.
In our second
I am not
year.
a full-time chef. I don't like cooking. I only do it because I want you guys to keep coming back.
It's a sourdough
We'll do this,
bakery,
okay?
though.
We'll be the cooks, and you can play the music in our restaurant.
Reverse
Plot
method.
twist.
Oh yeah.
Oh my. I do know how to play one song on the piano.
That'll do it. That's all you need.
Well, you got the bass guitar amp now, so you can...
Yeah, I
Start
haven't
playing-
practiced in a while, but
You could play the intro lesson from the Fender app.
I could. I could play that.
You can put a whole song around that.
I could.
I think this year we should do all originals.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow. Well,
I agree.
as someone that's tried to do a band with originals, it's much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to write, compose the song in an hour, and then play it.
I kind of do.
Actually, that would
Like
be
that
kind of a
idea.
fun exercise.
Sister channel idea.
I kind of like that idea a lot.
My Dad's Radio Challenge version.
My dad's songwriting.
My dad's jazz exploration odyssey.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, I'll do it. I can't wait.
No, what you really have to do is to get like a big group of you guys split up into 2 teams. Come up with
idea.
songs and then
Cover them.
Play them at the same time
no.
while we
You have to
record.
write your own songs and then compete and see which one makes it.
Who judges that?
I do.
Simon Cowell, of course.
We do have enough
Massage.
members.
Harmony
We could
does.
make several
Harmony
different
comes
bands.
down here and judges
Oh
it.
gosh.
Harmony would be that would be. I feel like she would be a tough critic.
She would be because she knows what she likes and only
know-
what she likes.
Hold on, though. There's something to having like a band of like Sean, Jamie, and like you and Brian, and maybe I don't know, somebody like, so pick a singer, and then having like a Dibs and Brandon and me and someone else and pick a singer.
Very
and
different
then, like,
vibes.
and then
Yeah.
you get Nate on another, and then we only have 2
We
bass
should
players.
do that
Yeah.
and do an A/B of the same song.
That's kind of what I was thinking of. Yeah, like
It's cover the same song and see how it sounds with the different groups.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be
kind of a
interesting.
fun
different
idea.
singers.
Our commoners would be brutal, I think.
Yeah,
because
that's okay though.
I know I only play a certain way, so like whatever songs I'm on have a certain sound to them. I think
I
the
call
guitars
Jamie,
are
though.
usually a little crunchier that day.
They are. A little
With
more
the
chugs.
thong underwear.
A little more
There
chugs.
is a thong in
Inside the guitar.
Yeah.
inside the guitar. Yes, we.
That was one of my only TikTok stories I think I posted.
Yeah.
was Dan talking about.
I discovered that by accident. I was like, oh, David posts stories now. Why am I the story?
It was important information people needed to know.
No, I'm totally with you.
No, I think I do want to try like actually on the spot cover. We've done it already, technically, where we had we didn't have a third song planned, but we had time, and we're like, let's do a song we all kind of have heard forever. But I think it'd be fun to be like, it's gonna be a somewhat difficult song, and we're gonna hear it and practice it and learn it, learn it on the spot and film the learning of it.
I think there's real potential for it because it's actually, I mean, like you mentioned a bunch of YouTube channels in the beginning, and like I also like there's a lot of like cover bands that do like their own variation stuff that I really love, but this is like a newer thing that like drumeo and piano and like there's a few others that are like famous for doing like this thing where they say like
Drummer,
such and such
here's-
musician, here's it for the first song. And it has
Mike
to do it in
Portnoy,
one session.
here's Britney Spears for the first
Yeah,
time.
which-
and some
That makes me
off the
gag.
wall
Yeah,
thing,
I hate
but
the
it's like
clickbait.
They're so good though. Like genuinely, Drumeo is like top tier.
No.
All those videos are
The
so
content's great. The headlines make my eye rolls. The titles,
clickbait
yeah.
title.
Well, they have to. If you look at like Piano or Drumeo, and you look at like their videos that are like Mike Portnoy hears Britney Spears the first time, and then you look at their videos that are like, their normal content. It's like 100x in views.
yeah.
I've watched a few. I've clicked on a few of those where I don't know any of their other content. I'm like, oh, I like this song. They've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Oh.
It works, but it's so obvious. Like this person's never heard the most popular song ever. Like this guy's never heard Michael Jackson's
Well-
Thriller before.
Have they
Like,
never
you're
watched
kidding
any
me.
movie
Yeah.
or gone outside?
The one that they did for it was a metal drummer, and he did Mr. Brightside. And he's from like Northern Europe, so I can believe that maybe he hadn't heard of it. But like they all play it up, they're like, "Oh my god, how can you not have heard the song?" I believe him though. You gotta trust him. You got suspension disbelief.
Yes, it is better just to believe. Trust everything you
believe.
see on the internet.
They're supposed, and they do. I mean, we're in a big aside now, but they'll show somewhere there's a guy he's very like he knows his music, he knows his other genres. They try to pick genres that they're not good at, and they have one guy who like. They had to do like the fourth song. They had to like pick a backup for a backup for a backup because he kept being like, "Yeah, I know the song."
Yeah.
I think as a real answer to that though, I think going forward, I know I really like our like really well polished, well produced like kind of song and a video, but there's a lot left on the cutting room floor that makes what Dad's Radio is, that the heart and soul of it that gets left like on SD cards, and
Yeah.
I think I would like it if we did a post video or even pre video like snapshot of some of
Behind
our
the
blooper
scenes
reels
of the-
or even like a time where we had like a really good take that it just didn't like this portion just didn't make it in like we all like that happened with Fall Out Boy I think where Sugar we like really got kind of that heavy chuggier part down in that fourth or fifth take. We ended up using like the second or third take because they were just overall better performances. But there were some parts that would have been like, okay, well, we had a lot of fun in the camera here and we were really synced in this part.
Yeah.
And then also like when we're not playing the goofy like, hey, look at my thong and my guitar, like
Yeah.
those kind of moments should like live
Super
outside
cuts of all the non-takes.
yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that we all do that's really fun and funny and
It's harder, more of an edit process.
It is.
It would be
That
if
is-
we wanted to
that is
do
true.
even one that was like not fully themed of like, hey, you're gonna learn the song. We're gonna give you the song on the day. And you're gonna figure it out. Like even if we knew in advance, like because we don't always have the cameras rolling.
That's how we
and-
record. I
yeah.
think we should roll while we're practicing.
Yeah, I mean that would be the easiest way to do it. We'd
but
probably
you
have
can't
to
just
run.
roll the camera. You also have to roll audio
Right, but I
because
think
you don't want camera audio.
And we'd have to have everyone mic'd.
Yeah,
even if they're
that's
not.
they already are.
Um,
It's just they're not.
most of the time.
I'm usually not.
Yeah,
I
I
think we
mic'd like
could
half
use
the
it.
time.
I think we could do it.
That's why I go back to the security camera option. Just have a security camera that does it the whole time.
You know what I could do, and I don't know if this would work or not. It's just an idea that coming to me live. The mixer can record to a USB card, to a USB stick.
So we could at least get the audio.
So we could record all the stems out of the whole thing. Just hit
Yeah.
record as soon as we start going.
Would you be able to?
And then we
balance
wouldn't
them
need the DAW to do it because we need the DAW to be free for capturing the recording.
Well, especially if you're doing the if you end up doing the Apollo split cable
Yeah.
thing, that would be easy
That'd
to
be
do.
great. Or we could just have another computer recording off the mixer's feed the whole time, and then just use the DAW for the performance.
Would you
Phoenix-
still be able to do like a live streamy type thing? Because I know that's another thing that we're.
Yeah,
trying to
I think more live streams.
That's another thing I'd like to do more.
We'd have to do that pretty regularly though. That is something where like you got to do it on a certain night every single week.
We do it on a weekend though. For the most part, we record on a weekend.
We've been pretty regular about doing it on Sunday from like 1 to 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
The only thing I hesitate to doing those. I liked live streaming our live at lunch practices because those were songs we'd already done. But if we live stream our Dad's radio sessions, then it spoils the songs that were not that there's like a huge like it matters that much, but like we have themes sometimes and like I don't know. That's the only hesitation I have of always streaming our Dad's radio recording sessions if people care about
Yeah.
keeping the song recording and
It definitely also kind of lets you peek under the covers in terms of what our release schedules look like compared to when we film.
Yeah, because
yeah.
there's we
We've got
have
a big
5 back
backlog.
right now.
yeah, we've got a big backlog.
Yeah, we have 5 songs in the bank.
There's
But
still,
that's because we're gearing up for summer.
but we have that
and-
third song from Kat who recorded with us 2
yeah,
months
that
ago
was-
now.
Yeah.
And Evans the middle.
Yeah, the
that
middle's
was a
still
while ago too.
Mm-hmm.
I have forgotten the secret.
Spoilers,
No, I no,
spoilers.
yeah.
You
Big
are
for the
way
middle.
too into the secrecy.
It's the middle. Why
of
is
it.
that?
If someone watches the whole stream
Right,
to this
and catches
point
this.
and figures out the video,
Yeah, they deserve it.
They
get
deserve
one
to know
peek.
at that point. All right, so if you made it this far,
Yeah,
we're gonna give
thank
it to
you.
you.
One.
The middle.
Why is that?
But
Great song, the middle. Why is that? I love
I
that
don't
song.
even remember.
You Ought to Know by Alanis,
That's right.
the Cat song on the last one of hers. There is
Dreams
Dreams and Dreams
and Dreams. We did 2 different.
and
songs
another
called
Alanis
Dreams.
Morissette song, Head Over Feet.
Gosh, if we record Dream On, you have to release Dreams, and Dream On.
I could make that happen because we record that next. I think it's next weekend,
Yeah.
Yes,
and so I
Week
could
from
drop
Sunday.
My dad's Dreams.
Dreams Part 3.
we have our 420 themed one going out tomorrow. So,
Yep.
do you want to let that one be a surprise for the whoever's not
yes.
watching
I
it?
need
We'll-
to, I
we'll
need to
hold
send
that
you the
one down.
iPhone footage from that. If you haven't already finished the video cut.
I have not. I do
okay.
those super less. In fact,
I will admit
actually, it's
the
tonight.
framing
That's
is
usually Wednesday night while I'm putting the kids to bed. He's finishing the
Immediately after we're done streaming this, I'm gonna edit the video.
Nice.
I will upload this either. I think they might even be in ProRes. The framing is not good. I don't know if it'll be usable. It's half of the frame is the curtain. I don't know how that happened. I might have bumped it.
Well, it's
we at?
8:54. We should probably wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
We've
I've
been
got
talking
it.
for a while.
children are going to be past
I'm
their bedtime
surprised
now.
we have gone. I actually went this long.
I think went pretty well for our only
Yeah, I think so.
podcast ever.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who joined the live stream tonight.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everyone who supports the project, whether you have subscribed, follow the page, share our videos. There's so many friends and family that are behind us and love what we're doing.
And we should have merch very soon.
We should
Even
have
just
merch
listen to
very
me
soon.
rant about the project because it's so exciting for me and probably
Yeah,
Everyone
talk
should,
about it way too much.
Everyone should comment that they demand merch.
everyone. Yes.
Yes,
so
let's
that
do
David
merch.
will do it.
And I mean, yeah, thanks to all the 49 official members.
49 official members of
Wait,
the
we
band
have
app.
49 people that have
Are in-
Played?
I don't know if they've played.
Oh, hold on.
There are definitely at least one or two
We hit
people
a
who are in there
milestone
that have not
today
played.
too.
But
We hit a milestone. We got 500 subscribers.
nice.
On YouTube.
I'm pretty sure it was you, Dee Dee. If you're probably not watching this, but
You never know. I'm pretty sure those last two were at lunch today when
Yeah,
we were like,
exactly.
we have a band and we're live streaming tonight. And they're like, oh,
Awesome.
really? What's it called?
yeah, the photography team came and sat with us during lunch. It was really nice.
Sweet.
And
That's okay. They may watch the rerun.
So if you are watching this and you don't follow or like or subscribe, or if you don't like our videos or subscribe, please do so. It helps us, helps the algorithm. And watch. We have a couple. We have a playlist right now of all our videos. And I'm gonna start creating some playlists. We have enough content now that I can be like songs of the 70s, songs of the 80s.
classic rock,
And we actually
90s.
like can categorize things now by like singer or decade and
I love
create
that.
like playlists.
One of the questions that I often hear is, can you do a Spotify list? Can you elaborate on that?
Should we release, that might be something we think about this year, is taking our top songs, like some of the ones we talked about tonight, and putting those on an album and paying the licensing and just
Okay,
releasing
so
them.
that's the barrier right now is we have to put even more skin in the game by paying.
per song.
It's
yeah.
not that. It's $15 per song to license a cover for streaming. So
Okay.
it's a pretty small amount of money in the grand scheme of things. To make that back through streaming, it would probably never pay for itself. But
But I even selfishly,
Spotify.
I actually Spotify wasn't really working today, so I'm I mean, I do it anyway, even when Spotify does work, but I just had my dad's radio playlist up in the background, and Brandon kind of tapped on my shoulder. I thought he was going to make fun of me for listening to my own songs, but well, I guess I didn't write them, but no. And he was like, actually, no, I was just doing that too. I was just listening to that one.
Our girls, our daughters, wanted to, after the Sweetwater Live at lunch, they wanted to hear the songs. And so that's what I did. I just put it up on YouTube, plugged it in my car, and then we were driving because we had about a 30-minute drive.
That's what I do.
So.
Yeah. I put it on YouTube
but
and
I
try
didn't
not to watch
know
it.
if that would be, like, if you do Spotify, can you also do Apple Music? Like,
I think you
people
can do
wanna
all of
know,
them
can
under
you
the
just
same
play?
license.
Yeah, usually the services that do this, the license with the whatever the label is, and then they will deal with publishing out to the because like Spotify doesn't have like an upload. You have to go through a distributor.
Got it. So once you pay to the distributor, then you're good on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, like CD Baby is like the famous one, although it's not necessarily the one. DistroKid.
So we already pay for Lander, which is the mastering plugin I use, the AI mastering suite. And so they have distribution, unlimited distribution with the plan we have.
Nice.
So we just pay the $15 per cover for the licensing cover.
So we just need to
And they'll
pick.
handle all the other.
Pick the songs, probably going to have to remix them to sound similar or this like they belong on an album together.
Master. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, upload them and
That
put
might
'em
be a
out.
fun summer project.
And I mean, I also have seen. I knew one of my former coworkers did this actually. Like would release cover albums to across the streaming platforms, and I didn't know this could happen because she had done this. She'd licensed all of them, got an approval. Like the labels had said, yeah, you're good, and then they would be out and they'd hit like 1,000 views or like listens or whatever, and she'd have maybe like 1 in 5 like just taken down, and they'd be like, actually, we didn't approve it. So that's.
So and that's if you go through like Harry Fox or one of those others, and it's not. I think the way Lander might do it is they actually register the things properly with like the content ID system, so that we don't get hit with that kind of a thing. Because it wouldn't be us uploading it; it'd be Lander doing it. And
Well, I mean that was how hers was too. Was because it was on Spotify. I think she did it through DistroKid or something. And it surprised me to find that out. And she had at least one where it was they left it up. They just took all of the money, which I was like, that's who knows.
Whatever. Yeah, we'd be very selective on which, because I know we are selective about which songs we do cover, because some of the original people don't like their stuff covered. So
yeah, there's a couple artists that you kind of have to shy away from. The Beatles, for instance, their publishers pretty against. They usually flag stuff. So we try to keep it to stuff that's got a lot of covers that haven't been flagged and stuff like that. All right. Well, I think we need to wrap this thing up. So yeah, please like our videos. Please subscribe. Ask us to play your favorite songs that you grew up listening to.
Or ask us to come join on a session.
And we'd love to have you. And yeah. Thank you to you guys for joining tonight and helping talk about My Dad's Radio, what it is, celebrating 1 year.
Me and David.
Happy birthday to us. We did it.
Yay.
Thanks to you and Nikki. Like, without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you.
All right. Cool.
Sweet.
Bye, everybody.
I will
Bye,
go put children to bed.
everyone.
Bye, Internet.
Bye, Internet. I'm going to go put the... Oh, wait. Should we have background music? Alex, you should play...
Want to play us out?
You should play us out. You brought the keytar thing.
I didn't even play it.
Yeah, I got it. We didn't know if we were gonna.
That's it yapping.
I could yap all day. That's the secret.
That's my secret.
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got another view just by you playing.
Nice.
Nice.
I saw the piano come out and much more interesting.
Oh, yeah.